Okay, hi everyone. How are you? I'm in Chanhassen. Doesn't sound as cool as Black Duck, Minnesota. I just like that name. There's a restaurant in Chicago called the Black Duck, so I just have some, or there was, so I have some memories from there. Um, so thanks for jumping on. So I am a double diamond. Been with World since, oh gosh, I think like the last day of May. Okay, so about 7 months. And I have a corporate background. So I just wanted to kick this off. What we're going to do tonight is we are all joining together to we're going to go over all of the promotions and the new information that just really streamed out over the past few days. It was a lot. Like I was even overwhelmed. I'm like, oh my God, there's so much information. So Natita and Chad, it was the first time ever I was on a call with them. I don't know what it's like, for Leah and for everybody else, but they had us on a call 2 times, really just to help us understand all of the information that came out. And so what we're going to do is really transfer what they told us to you. So you got all of the information. That's your job, to get the information right. But there was a little confusion because there was just so much. So they walked us through kind of explaining it and then how to use all of the information. And there are some things that are shifting, like some language we have to shift, some ways we can use the information and just, or the promotions, and just kind of the outlook on kind of where we're going with the company and how we have to kind of change our posture in a different way as some things are changing. And so Leah is really going to kick off the call and do most of the talking. She's been with the organization longer. She knows more. She's very professional and detailed and really good at explaining things in a much better way than I am. So I'm excited, to learn from and listen to her. But I just wanted to kick it off just from my point of view. I know there's been a lot of changes, and I know there's a lot of chatter going on, and there's excitement, and there's some people that are feeling down and struggling, and some people are just started, yesterday. And so my excitement has not wavered once since I started, not one time. And I really think it's because I'm just so dialed into this industry, and I talk to so many people. And so I don't know if you guys know, but I have some people on my team who are corporate executives of dialysis centers, of like major hitters with medical device companies, like extremely well-known nurses in the diabetic field. And then just like 2 days ago with a new guy who just joined my team, Aaron, if you're on, hi, new Aaron, not the other Aaron you guys know, but we talked to this guy who's like the head of all wellness programs for one of the biggest healthcare companies in Chicago. And we kind of got talking to him by a fluke. But anyway, since I was on the phone with him, I said, just tell me what's going on in the industry. Like, I just want to learn from you. So he was telling me all the different companies he's talking to. He was like, your device is unbelievable. There's nothing like that out there. Like, this is where we're going. Can we do a bulk order? Like, he wanted to order biggest healthcare company in Chicago wanted to look at a huge commercial bulk order. And we're like, yeah, well, we're not really there yet. We hopefully will be at some point in time. But I guess I'm having these conversations that are so big picture that I'm really able to see kind of the big picture. And I want you guys to just, if you don't have your belief, or, you grab onto mine, okay, grab onto the other diamonds, because I have a product development background. And so I guess I think that's where a lot of my comfort lies in, because I know product development kind of goes like this. When you're in a new industry, a new category that's never been done before, it goes high and it goes low. Like, that's product development, but you're on this trajectory. Okay. So like, if you guys are expecting perfection, you're going to be disappointed. And if you're voicing perfection to your customers or your guests or your prospects or your potential distributors, they're going to be disappointed, because we're not going to be perfect. We're in a brand new category in tech, and tech is far from perfect. There's some people on my team, Annie, if you're on, she can relate to this. She was part of like the first launch of the iPhone 1. Like, she remembers that state, and like, it was so exciting, just like this is, but it's not perfect, right? So I want you guys just to understand that in product development, in tech, it's one of the most exciting places to be. Like, you are in the right place, right time. I'm speaking to major like medical professionals and healthcare professionals, just out of my curiosity with the industry, like we are totally in the right place. But I think if you just set your expectations to have some flexibility as we guide ourselves through this space, you'll be just so much more fulfilled, and you'll be able to stay on the fast track and just stay on the track, because there are people who are getting really off railed by some of the little things that are happening in the big scope of things. And so again, I think it's just my background, because I'm so used to product development and kind of how it goes. I'm used to being in, working for a retailer where we're bringing in tech products, and there's always some kind of an issue. And so as you're the CEO of your own business, I know it's hard for a lot of people. I really do. But as you're the CEO of your own business, as you're going into this conversation, and Leah and Katie and Tiffany and Suzanne, we're all going to guide you through how to use this. Have your mindset as like a problem solver and a CEO. And so like a CEO, like they're like, okay, how are we going to fix it? What are we going to do with it? How are we going to make this work? Like, you're in the right place, you guys. You're in the right place. You made the right decision. Don't waver on that. And then get involved in industry news. Like, look at what's happening. It's super, super exciting. So when these little blips happen, like, oh, I thought glucose was going to come out in November. Oh, now I don't know when it's going to come out. Okay. It's okay. You're still in the great place. So just don't waver as much and try to think like a CEO. And I think I wanted to have a little special guest. Are you here? Mm-hmm. Okay. So my husband, he's a CEO, or he's the CEO. He's been both, but he just wanted to just chime in really quickly, 30 seconds, you guys, maybe 1 minute, just to give you like the comfort and the excitement of like where we are in that change and challenges and all of these things. It's all good. It means we're at the beginning stages of something great. And so I want you to have this awesome, like excited, great, just passion and excitement for where we are, and keep on the track, because honestly, I know how these things work, you guys. So does my husband. I know a lot of you do. The ones who can stay on the track and problem solve and put this in perspective with a big vision, we're the ones that are going to win. We really are. And at the end of the day, I was at a networking event today, probably 30 people. You know what I talked about today? I said, we have an on-the-go blood pressure monitoring system. That's what I just decided to play with today. I said, I work for World Global Network. We have an on-the-go blood pressure monitoring system. That's all I said. I didn't talk about glucose. I didn't talk about blood alcohol. I didn't talk about pulse diagnostics. And they were like, no way, on the go. Oh my gosh. So see how like you just change your perspective a little bit. So I'm going to flip my computer. Sean's going to say a couple of things. Then we're going to turn it over to Leah, and she's going to get into the nitty gritty of how we're going to make this happen. Okay, hold on.
Hey everybody, how are you? Apologize for my looks. I was just downstairs watching basketball, and Chris was telling me about this, and I said, hey, I can add a couple cents to this discussion and this narrative. So, obviously I am not as immersed in the day-to-day as Chris is, but generally speaking, coming at it from a business owner that all of you guys are, in times of big change, what we do as business owners, we have a tendency to focus in on the minutia, all right? And if we can stay focusing on the long picture, we make an investment in something, it doesn't work. We stay with it, and we have to keep that optimism going. I'll give you a live example that I deal with. In my business, we make monetary investments in things based upon a certain set of facts and circumstances. And more often than not, because I'm in media, we're investing in an idea, right? And we make that money, we make those investments, we gather all the facts we can, but at the end of the day, we got to make gut instincts, right? And we focus in on that. The problem with that is you put money at risk there. And in my case, it's significant sums of money. And unfortunately or fortunately, however you look at it, it's not my money, it's the guys I work for. But nonetheless, you make these investments. And I want to compare and contrast that. So I guess the stakes are high. Compare and contrast that with what we're doing today. We've made this investment in the business, but the biggest investment we're making is our time, right? And so if we put that time in a positive way, and we try to, we recognize the fact, my investment, the dollars I'm putting in is my good attitude and my time to that good attitude, you can see kind of the big picture that Chris is trying to say, and glob on to that and latch on to her vision and keep that big picture and keep investing your time into your business, and it will pay dividends in the end. So that's kind of the the narrative I wanted to provide for you. I could talk for hours on it. I have a tendency to talk too long, but I appreciate you guys listening to me now. I'm going to spin this back to Chris, and you guys can continue on. But thanks for your time. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, honey. I like to get his perspective every now and then because we need a man in here every now and then, don't we? We do. So I'm like, we need a man today. So anyway, you guys, I'm serious. My belief is it hasn't. I'm like more and more excited. And today I just did a launch call before I got on here. I had like 6 people on the call. VP of sales from an IT company, VP of sales from a major healthcare company, VP of sales for this medical device company or medical like device salesperson, like super like exciting industries. They're all so excited about this product. So you guys stay on the track and let's get the information we need from Leah and the other diamonds, and we will move forward. And those of you guys, we're going to rock this. It is going to happen. So Leah, she has been with the company longer than all of us. She has all the knowledge and the wisdom and is really good at explaining kind of how to decipher some of the stuff that really went over my head. I have to be honest with you. So I'm excited to learn from her. So Leah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chris. And we are so grateful for you guys to be on this team, to have that corporate perspective. That is something I don't have. And I always appreciate hearing from you and what you can glean from that in your network. And even your lives, you guys, if you ever haven't watched her lives, definitely check them out. She just brings an awesome perspective to what we're doing here. So yes, I have been with this company since February. And one thing, kind of like Chris, I can say is my vision and belief in what we're doing has not wavered from the beginning. Part of that, I think I went to Thailand in May, so I got to hear from Fabio like early on what this company is doing. And I knew it's so big that and with that big stuff that we're doing there, it's not going to be a smooth ride the whole time. Otherwise it wouldn't be as big and as awesome as it's going to be. So with that, and it's probably like, what are we talking about? What's that? So obviously there was some really exciting announcements. We see some of this future stuff where we're going. We've been wondering about the blood glucose, and we have some definitive information on that now. So we're very excited. But before I get into the promotion stuff, we wanted to, like Chris said, kind of bring in some of that conversation that we had with Chad and Natita last night and over the last couple of nights, and as well as all the diamonds above. Everybody from the company was on together, and just what we've looking back over the last year. This is a growth environment for all of us, like never before. And we say it all the time in the presentations, but like we have to listen to what we're saying. Never before has tech been in network marketing. So with that, tech has its own own challenges, but now, okay, how do we navigate sharing technology with the world? And so we've looked back over the last year and we're like, okay, there's some things that we definitely don't want to do. We want to change as we're going forward. And with the biggest thing that was the theme of that is we want to become masters of under-promising and over-delivering. And we have not been very good at that. And the leadership will take full responsibility. Like it started from them and has come down through us as diamonds. That all the time. I get on a Zoom with somebody, all I want to talk about is how excited I am for the blood glucose coming. And we have to not even hardly talk about that now. We have to just focus on what's on the device right now. People will know, especially people that have been around for a while, that is coming. But you guys, we can't forget that what we have right now is incredible. Yes, there's going to be some people that the device as it is today might not be interested in it, but that's where you have to sell the vision. If they're just looking at this from a customer perspective, and they're like, oh, I really want a device that has blood sugars, great, I'll take your information and I'll get back to you once it does. Our device today does not, but we're about to be able to pre-order it, so we're like weeks away that we can actually have just everyday customers start to order that. So again, we got the mantra, the theme needs to be under promise and over deliver. Don't spend a bunch of time talking about that we will someday be be able to do mosquito shields and all that. Yes, it's a big vision. Know that for yourself, that how big this is. But if we get hung up so much on those features, people, they forget about what we have in our hands right now, and what we have right now is incredible. And I'm going to pass it over in a minute for Katie to even, in case you didn't see her story that she shared on Strong Living, kind of what we have today and how awesome this device is. So some of the challenges that we've had also with beyond just like talking about all future stuff is with the device connectivity. So we know, and this is one thing early on, and Katie was with me around this time too. We would get the devices, everybody was excited about it, and we're finding that some of our team members, like, well, why doesn't yours seem to work the way yours works? And why is it a little bit different? And in that time, we discovered that the iPhone, the iOS operating system, and the Android operating system function differently. It had nothing to do with these devices. Our devices are consistent, but it's the operating systems that can vary the reading of it. And particularly, it's the iOS systems that have caused some challenges. So Apple changed the way Bluetooth works on their phones, and they have the tendency to force close apps. So between those two things, the Hika app can't stay running in the background. So there's some connectivity challenges sometimes on iOS systems, and we know with the panic button and some of the We Care functionality, it doesn't work as we are in the videos relaying it to be. So when we're promising this stuff, and the videos say it, so corporate's actually going to be taking some of that stuff out, but now we get customers that are disappointed because it's not working the way we thought it did. And again, leadership and management we're all taking full responsibility of that, because it was all a growth thing. We didn't realize that that was going to be a challenge. But again, we just have to, when you have somebody, it's not the device. It's not the helo that's being faulty, it's the operating systems. So how I handle this is when, especially if somebody has seen me talk about it, has seen a past video, and maybe they reach out to me on Facebook and like, hey Leah, I've been hearing about this helo, I think I want to order one. I say, awesome, crazy awesome to cool device, right? What is it that's really drawing you to it? And if they say, my doctor told me I need to start monitoring my blood pressure. So I'm like, oh my gosh, you're going to love it. I always ask about what operating system they have, and just tell them the differences and how it's going to work. To get your readings, just make sure on the iPhone you open up the app. With the Android, it will connect once you're in the room with it. That's how this typically works. If somebody comes to me and they're like, I want to be able to monitor, I've heard this Guardian function's amazing. I want to monitor my mother from afar, from another state. Then I again say, do you have an Android, or does your mom have an Android or an iOS? And they say, if they say Android, the We Care function's awesome. But with the iOS system, because of that force closing of the apps, it doesn't function that way. So what corporate is deciding to do right for now is take that stuff out of the videos. So we're managing expectations. And that's another key to success here, is become amazing at managing expectations. Since I had this shift in the way I talk about it with new team members, customers, I don't have nearly as many people feeling like I'm disappointed in my device, because and again, we're now understanding better. So that's just really huge. And you guys also, if anybody's like, oh, like it's the panic button that I loved, or it's that We Care capability, I want to be able to use that even though I have an iOS. Keep in mind, in case you weren't at Vegas or didn't catch this from one of us, in the future, we won't need our phones for this device. So that's where what Chris, and what's your husband's name again? Mark? No, Chris and her husband.
Sean,
sorry, Sean. What Chris and Sean are saying, like, keep in mind the big vision and big picture here. So as you have some of these road bumps, you're just like, okay, moving on. Because it's when you start focusing on the challenges and the problems and the frustrations, and you don't keep up with the daily activity, now all of a sudden you're going to find you're like this. But if you keep going with the daily activity, okay, challenge, okay, how are we going to get around? Cool, great, okay, next, move on. And just keeping that mentality, that is going to keep you in this game. So we really wanted to make sure that you're with us on managing expectations, over-promising, under-promising, over-delivering, and just kind of being in that right mindset. So everybody's, again, kind of coming from the same place on here. And a good point that Chad made as we were getting off last night, that I'm like, touche, is he said, yes, every first-year company, the first year a network marketing company launches, there's challenges. And we had, depending on how long you're with us, so for a while it was credit cards, for a while it was shipping, but no company in the entire history of network marketing has ever paid out $35 million in their first year. So we got to kind of keep some of that stuff into perspective as well. Some other stuff that they're saying, just don't focus on selling the app, because that's that connectivity. Sell the product, and with all that we're doing and all the technology and where it's going. So some language that we're going to use as far as how you kind of share with this new Hilo LX Plus is that when people start asking the questions about the blood glucose, even though we're not going to really focus on that, but as people that knew about it, that the Hilo LX Plus will be in the future compatible with the blood glucose app. Okay. They have developed the hardware to make that possible, and then the app developers are developing the apps and creating the software. Okay, also I want to mention because this is something that I was misspeaking on, at CES, there won't be people that come up and test their blood sugar there. Fabio is really going to be focusing on the engineers and the doctors and the really science people that are like, how are you doing this? And really speaking to that, because that's the main big people that come to these things. Here's the technology. Here's how we're doing this. So in case anybody heard me say, because I thought I heard that too, that people could actually test that, they wanted to make that clear, that people won't actually be testing their blood sugar there at the event. So Katie, I want to pass it back over to Katie and Tiffany for a moment. If you guys have what you wanted to add a little bit on the blood sugar or blood pressure. Stephanie and Katie, your story.
Tiff, go ahead, honey.
Okay, hi everybody. Okay, just to switch this off, I have to say I'm freaking pumped about these releases that just came out. I pre-ordered already my Plus today, so if you did that, please type in the chat box a 1 if you did it, a 2 if you're going to yet tonight, and a 3 if you're just not there yet and you gotta do it. But oh my gosh, okay. Super excited. Leah and Chris covered so much of what I was going to say, but I really just wanted to share something with you guys that made me realize what we have is so powerful, and it's enough. And so I have been one of those people that have literally been over promising, and then I've had disappointed people, and they've either fallen out of the business, they've fallen out as customers, been frustrated, but realizing that what we have is good. Selling it as a blood pressure monitoring your bioparameters is the most crucial thing you can do right now. And then selling the vision of where the company is going without making any promises of the deadlines. So I just want to talk about compliance just a little bit, because I see some people slipping, and I always want to make sure that we're protecting the longevity of our company and our own businesses. So especially now with us talking about the product, we have to make sure that we're including the product disclosure along with the income disclosure. So I will always make sure that I'm not out there treating or curing diseases and doing all that. So make sure you see the full product and income disclosure at worldgn.com. So with what we have, you guys, something that was brought to my attention is that my father-in-law, I haven't given him a Hilo yet. Most of my family doesn't support me, which I'm sure most of you can relate on the call. You lack family support, and they just think what I'm doing is crazy. And he's diabetic, and so is my mother-in-law, and they just shake their head thinking, really, non-invasive, whatever. And they don't get it. They're old school. And they're also, what are they for diabetes? Help me out. What are type 1, whatever. I guess my husband doesn't know how to answer what his parents are. So anyways, his father literally went to bed the other night, you guys, at 10 p.m. at night, and didn't wake up until 4 p.m. the next day when his girlfriend came home and found him. And I just want to say that luckily he's okay, but it broke my heart, and it made me realize that everybody needs one of these Hilos on their wrist, whether or not if it has the glucose monitoring or not right now. Because with what we have, it's measuring your bioparameters continuously, right? And we have that alert system for the ones that don't have the connectivity issues, and it's all connected. So when you're still diabetic and you go into a diabetic shock like that, your breath rate, your heart rate, your blood pressure, your everything is going to change. And I'm so grateful that he's okay, but I would have blamed myself forever if I didn't have that on him. And it just made that shift in my head that, you guys, what we have is enough. It's literally crazy that without even the blood sugar levels, our bioparameters and our vitals are being continually monitored. And I called Katie right away. And Katie is a genius when it comes to the use of the product. I tend to lack that a little bit. I'm more business focused on developing the organization. And she has so many great stories and stuff about her husband and how she could monitor him. And you guys, I just want to let you realize that what we have in our hands is such a gift, and that we just have to do it compliantly. We have to use the right verbiage. One of the things that Chad really said, we cannot say that it's a medical device, but we can say that it has the clinical sensors. And the reason we can not say medical is because other countries, we're distributing in 195 countries right now, and if we use the word medical device, we can't stay global like that. So it's not that it's not what it is. It is a medical device because it will have FDA approval and all that, but making sure that we can continually distribute in 195 countries and stay compliant with all of their governing systems is huge. So use the word that it has clinical grade sensors, and that when you're advertising it, it is literally a health monitoring system on the go. I mean, think about it. We're running our errands, we're doing stuff. We have this, continually doing this on the go. And the first thing that a nurse or doctor does when you get into their office is they measure your blood pressure, right? That's the first thing that determines like a source of most problems. So that is enough. And I just want to make sure that everybody realizes that it's exciting where the future is going, but what we have now is absolutely enough. We've sold 700,000 plus devices in 2017, and we're going to move 2 million devices in 2018. So obviously, if we sold 700,000 of them, what we have is sufficient. So I'm going to pass it back over to Katie. I just wanted to share that with you guys. I feel like a crappy person because the people closest to me don't have one on their wrist yet, and I'm a diamond in this company. So if your loved ones don't have one on them, get it on them.
Awesome. Thank you, Tiffany. Hey, everyone. How's everyone doing tonight? Obviously, you guys know I'm a huge proponent of this device. I have tried this thing through every doctor, nurse friend, anyone that I've ever come in contact with. I share this thing with everyone. And I do it because of what it does now, not because of what it's going to do in the future. And I actually almost got a little hung up about 3 weeks ago on the fact that I hadn't shared it with really any diabetics and hadn't been talking about that at all. Because I was like, well, maybe I'm missing out, or maybe I'm going to miss out on a big group of people when this does launch in 2018. And so then I kind of went into that mode a little bit and started talking to people who had family members with diabetics. And I thought, no, it's still not working. They still don't believe me until they're going to see it. I can talk about CS all I want, but the people that have joined and that have seen the device and how it works, they're here because of what it already does. I came into this company because my father-in-law had a stroke, and I knew that my mother-in-law needed this for a peace of mind. So I put this on them, and when I watched how much it gave them a peace of mind and how happy it was for them, I knew that we had something huge. And I knew that there's people out there. Every single one of us on this call knows someone who has some type of heart-related issues somewhere along the lines in their families, or have lost loved ones because of it. And I knew that it's not getting any better. Just everything in life. So with the medical industry, I knew that this was going to be big. I really didn't know how big until we got to the Las Vegas convention, and my husband came with me for the first time ever. And when they were up there and Fabio started to talk about CES, the look on my husband's face, so just like Chris and Sean when they had come on, that's kind of similar to how my husband and I, he's in the corporate world. In fact, he just literally walked in the door a few minutes ago from his trip this week. He travels all the time. The largest electronics show in the world. He's like 100,000 plus people come to this convention to see what the newest and biggest electronics are going to be every single year. He's like, the fact that you guys have a booth, he's like, our company has a hard time getting a booth to this. And so he's been in the corporate industry for, a couple decades now. And for them to get a booth, it's like you have to come up with something so big and so huge that's going to truly impact the world to get a booth there. His company, they're working on helicopters and airplanes and composites, and they're like changing, revolutionizing the aerospace industry. They don't have a booth. They go every year to see what the newest and greatest stuff is. So he attends it every year, but they don't get to be there to show the product. So he's explaining to me how big of a deal this really is. So I have to tell you, for those that didn't see my call the other day, on Facebook, my husband traveled to Kentucky, left Monday morning. So I was going through our Hika app that afternoon and evening, and I could see all the way through how he was doing on the Guardian feature on his Hika app. And it's not very often, honestly, that I check it, because when he's home and we're working home together. But when he travels, which is quite often, it's kind of fun to see, or to hit my panic button. Then he calls right away, and I'm like, hey, I just got a package of bios in. Can I open it? Or do we have to do it live together when you get home? He's like, that's why you hit your panic button. I'm like, but it works. So I'm watching and I'm monitoring, and I can see his vitals are fine all morning. I can see once he gets on the plane, everything has dropped. And I know from being his guardian that when his heart rate and breath rate, when it drops, it's because he is sleeping and he's out. So I joke with him, if I'm at work during the day, I'm like, hey, how was your nap today? And he's like, how'd you know? I'm like, because your vitals, I know exactly how low they go every time you're in a deep sleep. And so it's like this running joke. He doesn't need me to have the device on, you guys, to see what my mood is, right? He knows what kind of a mood I'm in, but it's kind of fun to see. So he's over 1,000 miles away, and I can see on there. And then all of a sudden, after he gets off his plane ride, I can see that something's not right, because I can see everything has gone up. His blood pressure has gone up a little bit. His heart rate's gone up. And now it's saying for the next 2-3 hours, anxious, anxious, anxious. And I'm like, what is going on? So I'm talking to him, and I said, well, what happened after you landed? And he's like, why? And I said, I was just looking at the app. And he goes, you're never going to believe. He said, my boss, who's the CEO, who he's super close with, did not make his flight because his plane had broke down. So then my husband was at the airport, had to get a new rental car, had to figure out those kinds of things, but then was with his CFO, who he doesn't get along with super well. And so now he's traveling in a 2-hour car ride with her, and I can see this entire ride. I can't see him in person. I can't talk to him over the phone while he's in this car ride. But you guys, I can see through his Guardian feature that something's not right. And so when I asked him, and I was like, oh my gosh, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, it was okay. He's like, it's just nerve-wracking to be like, I know she doesn't love me, so how's this week going to go? Am I going to have a job after this? What is this corporation going to do with me? I mean, we have a lot of anxieties that way. And so it was really awesome to be able to see on his Guardian feature exactly how he was doing from the inside out. How powerful is that, you guys? So if something were to truly happen to him, I would get a notification. And I do. Sometimes when it goes high, I get them, and sometimes when I go low. But it's very, very few and far between. For those of you that were here from the very beginning, when we first got these babies were going off all day, every day. But once they figured out, they're using us to understand what these devices can and cannot do. You realize they're not spending the money out there testing other people. They're using us. And that's how they're able to pay $35 million to the field, because we are the guineas in this. We are pioneering this company, and what we have is so incredibly important, and it's so huge. Leah, do I have a couple more minutes to share the other diamond story about their daughter real quick?
Sure.
Okay, you guys. So there is someone in this company, I'm not going to name names, but they have a 17-year-old daughter who is type 1 diabetic. Woke up at 3 a.m. one morning, feeling really, really nauseous, really, really crappy, went in to get to her mom, said, Mom, I'm not feeling good. And she said, oh, let's check your sugars. And so they checked her sugars were fine, right? So she's like, okay, we'll just have some bite to eat and try and go back to sleep. You're fine. Everything's good. 3.5 hours later, you guys, she went DKA. And for those of you that know that are type 1 diabetics or type 2, you know that that is the scariest thing that could happen to you as a diabetic. She ended up in the emergency room unresponsive, and her helo had registered at 3 a.m. everything that was wrong with her. Everything that had dropped, everything that was wrong, her vitals, her blood pressure, everything. And her helo had notified her that something was wrong with her long before her sugars dropped so low that she ended up in the emergency room unresponsive. So just know that just because we don't have the blood sugar monitor, your entire vitals and inside and bioparameters are all connected. And when you go to the doctor's office, they're not hooking you up to the machine to see what your sugars are. They're hooking you up to your blood pressure machine, and they're hooking up to all your vitals. It's all connected. But the fact that they went back and she's like, the Hilo notified us. She was, we looked at it and we knew that her body was responding to something. We just didn't know if she was getting a fever or she was getting sick or maybe she was just too tired. We didn't know. But it was already alerting her long before her sugars had dropped so low that she went DKA. So just know that what we have, you guys, right now is so, so incredible. Okay, I'm done.
Awesome. Katie, thank you so much for that. Great stories. And you guys, we have story after story and stuff of what this device can do for people. So it's, what we have is absolutely incredible. And like, I don't know if you guys are, I want to make sure everyone's following the chat also. Chris posted some really good stuff. Yes, blood sugar is coming. We're talking about this again because we have another, month or two. It'll be about mid-February before the new devices are shipping out, before we can really start where we're really talking about that stuff. So it's like right around the corner. So it's coming. We're not trying to say that we'll never have blood sugars on here at all. I also copied and pasted some language in there that Chad really emphasized to us last night about using as far as just selling the vision and how to talk about, just in a sentence, what we have. We have a real-time health monitoring device that reads your vitals on the go, and just like Chris had said that. There's nothing else out there that does that, so that's really cool. Okay, so we're gonna move on from the device and start to talk about the promotions, okay? I'm going to go through them one at a time because there was 5, and then I just want to make sure that everybody fully understands them. So if you didn't understand it all fully when Antonio was sharing it, a little funny from last night, Romacio and Mike Sims were saying, they were joking how they were like, did you understand that? You know what they're talking about? They didn't get it either. So don't feel bad if you didn't follow it all. So we broke it all down. I got some clarification from corporate, and we want to make sure you guys fully understand all of it too, because it's crazy cool. So that $200 off the family pack and the premium pack that they had done last week, that continues until January 8th. Okay, that's pretty simple and straightforward. Everybody, that makes sense? You get $200 off that pack, either of those packs through January. Okay, also then for new enrollments, and this is going to backdate to anybody that's come in since September 1st. You have the ability to get a voucher that you will get in January that will give you $200 off the Hilo LX Plus. So you, as you're selling the family packs and the premium packs right now, because they have to get that, they can also then know that if they get one of those packs and not come in on the single, they will get a $200 voucher for the next device. And that will come in January. Okay, does that make sense to everyone? And I'm going to change the view here so you can see. That all good there? And type in the chat box if you need any points clarified, because if you're thinking it, someone else probably is too. Okay, so that was the second promotion. The third one is for current team members. Okay, you must be a team builder partner. So meaning you've brought in 2 people or 100 sales volume on each side. Okay, team builder partner. This is one thing, I thought it was executive, but it's actually partner. You are able to get in on the pre-sale, and you're going to start seeing a lot of social media action around this. Like everybody, we have the ability, and we're going to really promote it as a perk of being a member, but we got to get you to a team builder partner first, because you're not eligible for that until you get those first 2. You can go on right now, it's live now, and order the Hilo LX Plus, pre-order it. Okay, and it's a savings. And Natita was saying, she goes, I don't know this for sure, but I don't think that we're going to be able to order these singly for a while after the first launches. It will just likely be in packs. So this is an opportunity also to get, if you just want to get one device and have it, because us as people that are sharing this right now, like we want to have the newest technology. And so they're giving us at that discount to pre-order right now. So basically what you get is you get that Hilo LX Plus. You get one of the colored band sets, the limited edition, while the supplies last on that one. Once they run out of the limited edition colors, it'll go to the usual ones that chip out with it, and 1 BioZen chip. So basically, you're getting that Hilo LX Plus for $204. Okay, and that bundle is $399 then. Okay, so when you go in and order that, do take some pictures, use your social media sites, and you're going to be saying hashtag got my Hilo Plus. Katie, type in the chat box. Got my Hilo Plus. Hashtag got my Hilo Plus and hashtag member perks. We're going to create some really cool social media attention with this. Okay, so that's for people already that are members and team builder partners. All good there. Okay. Then the fourth one is the ability to get 25% team volume commission. And you guys, this at 20%, that's already pretty rare in this industry to earn 20% on your team volume. The fact that they're offering for another 4 weeks to be able to get 25%, you can't get that in this industry. It's a huge, huge gift. But for that, you have to be at Team Builder Executive. So basically, you're going from 20% to 25%. And in order to get that in a commission cycle, so say we're in one right now, this week until Monday night, you have to sell any combination of a family pack, a premium pack, or getting your pre-sale bundle. That counts as one too. Any combination of that. And you're not limited to the number of the pre-sale bundles you get. You can order 2 or 3 or how many ever you want. That's not capped. So that then you'll get, if you do that, you qualify this week. So already you're a Team Builder Executive. You sell 2, and then the next week on your team volume commission, you will get 25% instead of the 20%. Okay? Does that make sense? I know that's the one that started to get a little detailed. Good? Okay, good. So then the last one is the CES promotion. So this is, if you guys can hit the rank of diamond or requalify, for those of us that are, if you can get to the CES event, which would be crazy cool to be at, you have the ability to get in the VIP zone and be a part of the booth. Guys, the social media that you could do with that attention would be phenomenal. And just to be a part of that experience. I've never been there. I can't imagine. Chris, it sounds like I think Chris has been there. But so if you get to that rank, you will then also be able, and there's some other stuff for President and President Millionaire and whatnot too. But let's just all get to Diamond in the next 4 weeks. That would be so cool to be able to be a part of that event. So that's the 5th promotion that they're doing. Okay, I see the chat box going. I'm assuming everyone's getting their questions answered. So any points of clarification? I'm gonna quick. Go ahead.
I just want to jump in and just say, you guys, so when we had this meeting with Chad and Anita, they said the field asked for a promo, right? I hope you guys really understand that the reason this is so complex isn't to confuse us. It's just that is what our CEO, Fabio Galdi, is like. He's an overgiver. He loves to constantly just give us. The fact that we asked for a promo and he gave us 5, that's where the complication is coming in. And so just trying to follow that is where it's getting confusing, but that is a good problem to have. So if you're not right now catching on to this, feel really, really freaking happy about this, because our problem is there's so many promos we can't follow them.
Yeah.
Right? That's so good.
Awesome. Thanks, Tiff, for that ad. And so I just want to kind of close this up too, and if anybody else has anything they want to chime in. But last night, William Fawcett closed out our call. And if you don't know who he is, he's a president here. I think just president. If I'm messing up the rank, somebody correct me. But what's cool about him is he's also been on the corporate side of direct sales. So he's been, on multiple, and he's been a distributor. He knows all sides of this industry. And he said, you guys, I hope everyone fully understands and appreciates what you have in front of, or what we, because now he's a part of us, what we have in front of us right now. Mark my words, it's going to be really cool to be able to be the ones that say, we were at the beginning of World Global Network. We were a part of it when they were just figuring out that first device, and there was this Hilo, although we'll have the Hilo LX is not going anywhere. They're going to continue to create apps and everything for that as well. So make sure you guys are speaking to that. People aren't thinking they're going to phase the Hilo LX out. That's not the case at all. But he said a Hilo will be a household name. When people are thinking of wearable tech, like Kleenex is now called, it's a brand, but people just say, can you pass me a Kleenex? Hilo will be because we're going to be the first where we're doing this licensing technology. And if you did not see that article that was shared today in Strong Living, make sure you go seek it out. If that doesn't tell you that we are in the right place at the right time, as we are pioneering something that is all over the media right now, I got nothing for you. If that doesn't do it for you. So definitely check out that article. If you don't know what we're talking about, reach out to We Are Upline Diamond and they'll take you to the article because it was phenomenal. Great. It was perfect timing too. So awesome. Any other questions before we jump off here?
Leah Christie had a good question I can't answer.
Cost not fail sales. I think that was just during this pre-order. I would have to go back and look at that. I remember them saying that, but I didn't catch what that was attached to. Does anybody, Katie, do you know?
I don't recall.
No, I can't add to that, but I do want to add the importance of why we should all be ordering our pluses now versus later. If you guys are team builders now, the reason you want to order it is they said they can't guarantee that you're going to get it singly. Yes, the price goes up. I've seen somebody ask that and there's confusion on the costs there. So right now, if you are a team builder partner, or a team builder executive, you go or pre-order your plus now for a $195 discount off of the Hilo itself. With that comes the limited edition band set, which is like the lime green, the gold, the silver, like the cool colors. That's limited, and once that's out, they're gonna fill it in with the regular colors that we got in our sets before, and a bios and sticker. So that $399 pre-order includes the band, the limited edition, and a bios and sticker. They're saying it's not concrete yet, but come January, they don't know if you can buy a single. They think that it might just be in a bundle. So even if it's $200 off, which is great, that's the importance of being team builder now and getting this single band. Otherwise, you might end up having to buy it in a package later, if that makes sense. So the sooner you order it, the better, because you'll get the cooler colors and you don't know how it's going to be presented later. So take it now for what it's worth.
Yes, thank you, Tiffany. So in writing, I know on the World Global Network Facebook page, they did put Taylor had a summary because he recapped it also on Wednesday's corporate update. So maybe, and I know sometimes just hearing somebody else say it slightly differently, then it might click. You can go and watch Antonio, which that's probably the hardest with that accent, or you can watch Taylor talk about it from Wednesday this week. And then they did type it out. There's always a summary of the notes basically, and that's on that page. So if you joined after September 1st, you don't have to be a team builder. No, you still, to get the pre-order right now, you'll get a voucher in January for people that order their family pack as of September. Can you wear the Hilo LX in the shower? This is one thing that I thought I heard both. And so I think we have to get that clarified because I heard both. I heard waterproof and splash proof. And so somebody that's bigger than us needs to clarify that. So,
and the way I heard it, the way I read it and heard it, I thought, because Antonio said like waterproof, and then he had a number with it or something. And I think that waterproof with that number means what Natita called splash proof. So we have people that wear theirs in the shower. I have 2 people on my team that wear theirs in their shower and have. I would not do that, but they have been and they're working. So, but I would not recommend that. But I understood it as it's still not something you want to wear in the shower or the bathtub or a swimming pool. That's how I took it.
Under promise and over deliver, right? Splash proof will keep you safe all the time.
Okay, I just think it was Starla that just sent a message. Sorry, I'm on 2 different because my computer was going out. Hold on.
I'm going to quick speak about the loyalty points. So you can't right now use loyalty points during this beta phase. So it's going to be in beta until probably mid next year. After that, then people can use loyalty points towards getting the device.
And there was a good question. Somebody said, why would I have somebody buy 4 Hilos now if they're going to be obsolete or something like that? I just skipped it. They're not. It's just like, so have your business hat on, okay? Customer's different. Like Leah said, customer's different. If someone's like, I want the device for glucose monitoring. Okay, you got to wait until you can get the Hilo LX. Right now, a customer can't order the Hilo LX. Only we can as team builders. So that's a different conversation. If somebody's looking to get in at the business, remember, what you do duplicates. So we're still having the exact same conversation. And these devices are still awesome. Remember, some people are only going to want to monitor their blood pressure. That's all they're going to want to do. And they want to spend $199 or $350, not, whatever the new price is for the Hilo LX. So it's just like with the phones and all other technology. Like some people have the first Fitbit, some people have ones that are later, it's just technology. It's how it goes. So you don't want to stall out your business ever because you're waiting for the next thing. People did that going into convention. I have to admit, I did it a little bit too. And shame on us because we had these like assumptions of what was going to happen at convention. So we stalled out a little bit waiting for it. Well, it's not, you don't have it till you have it. You really don't have it till you have it. You're in tech. So you need to keep running your business. We're all in this trying to make money. So you need to keep running your business and don't like wait to start your business or have somebody join you because they're going to be able to leverage then the Hilo LX Plus and all those things. So you want them to get in. You want them to get in, and the best way that we can manage, at the end of the day, they need to decide what's best for them. But we always say, like, the way that we kind of set you up for success is to come in at a $1,350. It's $1,150 now or above. That's the best way we can set you up for success, because what you do duplicates. Then you have some things on, some inventory. And at the end of the day, if they don't want to do that, if they're like, no, I don't want that device, get Biozen then. Get $1,350 of Biozen. But then you don't have a device for who knows how long, because we can get the Hilo LX, but we don't know when that's going to be distributed to general public, right, until we have it. So don't stall out on your business. There's many different options.
Well said.
All of the promotions go until January 8th.
And I want to say, go to your back office. In your back office, there's graphs there. And the graphs show each device, and they're checked off and X'd which ones do what. So there's a lot of questions in here I'm trying to keep up with which ones are glucose capable, what's the difference between the Plus and the Pro. There's a beautiful image in your back office. The Pro they're not announcing when that's going to be released yet, because the Pro will be the FDA-approved device.
Yes. From that graph, it appears that all the features will be very similar, but there must be something with that 510K certification to get the FDA approval that has to be, because the device does look a little bit different. But since they don't have that yet, they don't want us to have to wait to be able to offer this blood glucose monitoring capability until they're FDA approved. Now we have a device in the meantime.
Did you record this, Leah?
Yes.
I missed the first part.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And does pre-sale give TVC? Yes, you'll get team volume commission from pre-sale device. All right. Tiffany, there's a question from Tara. Did you apply a voucher in your purchase?
Nope, I just went to my back office, and underneath products and bundles, I found it there, and it was $3.99 because I'm above a team builder. So you'll see it there. It was live today. So just today is when it launched. So do that. And then don't forget to take a picture. We're creating a movement, trying to blow up those news feeds and do the hashtags. And that was per Chat and Natita. And it's really fun seeing everyone's pictures who've already ordered their pluses. So.
Yes, and I'm just looking in my back office now. I haven't checked it today. There's a bunch of information on the devices and whatnot right on your home screen when you go under business. So definitely check that out as well. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for jumping on here with us tonight. We appreciate you. We're excited to rally and take this, as Moss has been saying, into wave 2. And really, 2017 was exciting and interesting and full of hills and excitement and just all over the place. 2018 is going to be a whole nother level. All right, guys. Have a great night.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you for all you do.